The concepts in this book point out something very important, at least from my perspective. One is your biology drives a lot of your decision making. And I think it's important to understand that, like, when you're struggling to make good food choices consistently, there's a deep sense of like biological forces that are driving you to make decisions in which like the chips are really stacked against you making a decision opposite of what your biology is loaded to do, right? However, when you understand that, you can actually then take a look at, okay, what would the conditions have to be such that I can engineer my situation to have a different decision? And what it comes down to is simple choices about your environment and your lifestyle are what are going to drive most of your decision making. I interviewed him back in 2013, so 12 years ago. And if you take all of like the deep neurobiology of his book, layer it on with kind of the complex things that drive human behavior, with all of the environmental factors stacked against us, and you kind of boil it down to very basic concepts, it really comes down to, can I set up my environment to where my food choices are simple and they minimize the amount of like overtly unnecessary food reward on a daily basis I have to eat, right? And so the idea is, how can you structure a diet that is more on the side of low food reward as you can while still enjoying your food? So like when I think about how I set up my diet in a given day, it's generally around like enjoyable but low food reward foods, right? Like I will, if I'm having dinner, it will be like some steak or chicken, lightly seasoned, some plain rice or potatoes or pasta, and some vegetables with a little bit of salt and stuff here or there. Even if you were to have the same calorie and macronutrient content, like the reward systems you're driving are going to be very different. And it's much easier to control calorie intake when your next bite, you're not chasing food reward. And I think that's an important part that we can talk about.